You care not only about your own personal environment, you care about a broader scope. You care about the world. You want others to thrive and be happy and live well.
Absolutely.
So this is all part of your desire. And your time living on this planet has caused you to put those ingredients into this vibrational pot, into this vortex. And those vibrational ingredients are becoming and becoming and becoming because you and others have put them there. When a desire is realized by you, I so want the world to be a better place, and I so want to do my part in whatever that means. That is a vivid desire. It's a real desire, and it's a desire that you get to own. It's your desire, and you get to hold that desire. So you can't create in the reality of others. You can't wish for someone to have something because you can't be their receptive mode.
Right.
You can be the projector of thought about it. Now, this is where we want to take this conversation into a new place. In the last gathering in Long Beach, someone sat in the chair and asked the question, Abraham, you say that there's no assertion, and yet you talk about how we think thoughts or we project thoughts. He said, I'm wondering, if we can project a thought, then why is there no assertion? And we said, because just because you're thinking it doesn't mean somebody else has to receive it and live it, because it's all law of attraction based.
Right.
So think about a projection of thought, a thought that you think, a broadcast. Think about a radio tower broadcasting a signal. Well, it can broadcast all day, every day. And if no one has a tuner that's tuned to it, and no one's turned that tuner on, then that broadcast is not going to be received, and there's not going to be any manifestation as a result of it. It's like if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, did it make a sound? No, because there was no one there to translate the vibration into a sound. So in order for creation to happen, there has to be a broadcasting and a receiving, a broadcasting and a receiving, a broadcasting and a receiving. So the way you set your receiver, the way you set your tuner is by what you broadcast. It's by what you think. So when you think about a world that is wonderful, you set your tuner to receive evidence of that wonderful world. When you think about a world that is having all kinds of catastrophes and problems, then you set your tuner to be experiencing or aware of those kinds of things.
Right.
And so it's so wonderful that you are each a part of this magnificent balance of broadcasters and receivers, that there is enough diversity in what you desire and in what you allow, that everyone has the potential of living happily ever after. And in fact, you are better off for every diverse opinion that exists, because through the diversity, you sift and sort and find what you are projecting, and as you project it, meaning as you think about it, as you speak about it, as you talk about it, you practice a vibrational countenance that equals your point of attraction, and then life is reflected back to you in perfection to the broadcast that you are sending. So, let's just rest in that deliciousness for a minute.
Yeah.
That was so good. Jerry wanted to write a book called Turning Thoughts to Things, because he had a sense of this. Long before he met us, he was wanting to talk about how thoughts turn to things. Why do some people have this outcome of life and other people have this outcome of life? And as he began watching people and sort of making an association between what they were living and how they were sounding, he began to notice an absolute correlation between people who were feeling good about life and how their lives were turning out, and people who were complaining all the time and how their lives were turning out. He saw people who were in good positions because they'd been born into good positions, who ended up in terrible positions because they couldn't stop talking about the resentment they had, that their parents didn't give them more of the pie. And so he became aware that there is something to the way these thoughts are turning to things.
Yes.
And so we want to say today that as you are caring about the way you feel, so you have managed to wake up feeling good and then not do anything to counter that, or sit in meditation and quiet your mind, which stops resistance so that your vibration raises, or take a walk on the beach, or put your feet in the sand, whatever it takes. for you to find yourself in that tuned in, tapped in, turned on state of being. Once you are in that receiving mode, while you are in that receiving mode, you are the realizer of all kinds of thoughts that are turning to all kinds of wonderful things, all the way along the way to the magnificent culmination that you're reaching for on different subjects. So Esther's been watching because she's been listening to us for a long time, really long time. She's been hearing us say this statement right from the beginning of her translation for us. There are two ways to know what is in the works in terms of what you're creating. Two ways to know. One is how you feel, the other is how it's turning out. How you feel is pre-manifestation, how it turned out is post-manifestation. Pretty obvious, isn't it? So you can tell what your vibrational state of being is by how you feel and how it turns out. Well, if you care about how you feel and you receive an idea about something, call them, go see them, go here, do this. When you get an impulse from the receiving mode, pay attention. As it plays out, it's wonderful. Yes. But if you're all balled up in something, if you're angry, if you're frustrated, if you're mad at somebody, if you feel like you've been mistreated, and then you follow the impulses that come from that vibration, watch how it turns out. It always, 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 always matches. Good feeling thoughts that you hold consistently always turn in to wonderful experiences in life. Not good feeling thoughts always turn in to more of the same. Now, any step along the way, you can have a bad feeling thought, and certainly it's natural to have a reaction to something not wanted. It's natural to feel defensive. If somebody comes at you suddenly, it's natural for you to defend yourself and not let them just slug you right in the face. That's natural. But the next question is, do you stay in that defensive stance forevermore? Once somebody comes at you, do you walk around like this for the rest of your life? I thought maybe you were going to hit me, so I have to be ready for that. Because the more ready for that you are, the more people hit you. It's just the way that it is. But any step along the way, you can realize, oh, this doesn't feel good. I can do something about finding a better feeling thought. So we like this conversation that you stirred up, because we do know that you want to help the world be a wonderful place. And it's interesting, the more wonderful your life is, the more you desire that for everyone else as well. We've begun saying recently, we've been saying it in lots of different ways over time, but recently our words are, don't try to be somebody else's point of least resistance, because you just can't get in their head. You can be the offer of thought about them, but you cannot, wait, get out of the way. I've been thinking really good thoughts about your success, and now I need you to just lay down and go to sleep, and I'm going to be the receiver of the thoughts about you too. Oh yeah, I wished you well, and now I've received it, and now everything will go well for you. You cannot vibrate for another because you cannot think for another, but you can influence others through the clarity of your example, and you can influence a world or a situation to something that feels better by clarifying. We're reluctantly allowing Esther to choose this word because it makes you wonky, but we're going to say it. Clarifying, purifying, cleaning up your vibration about a subject. If you can just not let yourself think the thoughts that you don't want to turn to things, and if instead you can choose thoughts that you will like it when they turn to things, and if you will then do the only thing that you can do it in the early stages, because once there's momentum, the thought will have its way for you. So then you got to meditate, or you got to go to sleep. You got to do something other than allow that thought to get a hold. Haven't you ever had an experience where you're feeling pretty good, and then you sit and you're visiting with someone, and they bring something up, and you didn't even realize that that was a big old wadded up active thing in your vibration because you hadn't been thinking about it for a while, but now they're talking about it, you're thinking about it. And before you know, you're off and running on a whole conversation that you don't want to be off and running about. This is the control that we are asking you for. In meditation the other day, Esther received a very clear statement, and she loved the way the statement unfolded in her own mind. Let the control that you seek, or let the control that you attempt to offer, let it be only about controlling your own positive expectation. And if you will work on controlling your own positive expectation, then you control your point of attraction.
The entire universe, actually.
The entire universe is a cooperative component for you. And others who don't know that, they'll watch you, they'll be jealous of you, they'll condemn you, they might even find fault with you. But if you've practiced positive expectation, they can't assert their negative experience into you. They can project it, you can receive it, but you've got choice about whether you receive it or not. And your ability to receive it or not receive it has to do with one thing and one thing only: how much you've practiced good feeling thoughts, how much your vibration is frequently in that tuned in, tapped in, turned on position. Yes. Don't you love deliberate creation?
Absolutely.
Yeah.